Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is ColdIron, Episode 1, a brand new homebrew campaign. It set in our homebrew setting of Elos here on Dork Tales. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm your Dungeon Master, Kelly. I'm very excited to be here with you today. We've been working on ColdIron for almost over a year now. This was originally supposed to launch in November of 2023, and then life finds a way, and so here we are right now. I am very excited to see what we do with this, and I want to invite you in. If you didn't watch episode 1, a quick rundown of what you're going to be experiencing. This game is a Western inspired with some Eastern influences and some stuff. If I told you which anime inspired me, it'd be pretty obvious what we're doing here. So, there's going to be a lot of rootin' tootin', some shooting, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. As we're going into this, a quick note that this game is going to feature certain things that may be sensitive issues for some viewers. There is going to be the presence of sex work in this game. It won't be on camera, but the presence of it will be there. It's real work, and we're going to treat it respectfully. That said, there is also rampant capitalism, indentured servitude, and a lot of murder in this. We're drawing a lot of themes from the Wild West, so just be ready for that. Don't get attached to anybody too hard. And as I say that, why don't we go ahead and do a quick circle? Tell me who you are and who you're playing, starting with Caitlan.
Hi, I'm Caitlan. I use she, her pronouns, and so does Zoe. She's our paladin warforged of the group.
Perfect. And next to you, we have the first of Team Green. It's Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. My hoedown pronouns are she, her, as well as my character, Trixxi, Blastemoff, who is our goblin gadgetsmith artificer of the group using the Kibbles artificer class.
Beautiful. Love it. Also beautiful is our very catty Christine.
Hello, I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and today I get to play Belle St. Clair, our Tabaxi warlock.
Wonderful, wonderful. Bringing up the rear of Team Green, it's Amy.
I don't know if I want to be the rear of the green. Can't I just be numero duo or number 2 or the other? Second?
You'd rather... Okay.
I'd rather be
sure.
the second.
Okay, sounds good. Green the second.
Yeah, that's fine. That sounds fine. All right, hi, I'm Amy. Pronouns are she, her, they, them. I'm playing Carrion Slaughterhouse, the ranger of the group, the tiefling / fiendish mutt combo that I'm very happy to be playing. And currently just regular ranger, but we'll be multi-class, or not multi-classing, but we'll be using an archetype from the Tome of Heroes, I believe it was.
Tome of Heroes.
So, I did.
That's right. Also excited, and the most excited of you, I think, is the one and only, finally playing an e-girl in person, Kat.
Hey everyone, my name's Katrina. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my girl, Taliina'a, or as she's known on stage as Bunny. She is our aberrant mind sorcerer seraphim of the group. She does normally have little horns, like in the photo, little 02 horns. They were supposed to be here yesterday in the mail. They were not. Hopefully Monday, the courier will drop them off. But
I can see horns. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I'll put them in post.
I am so excited to be here.
I'm very excited to have you. I'm also excited that this game is sponsored by Bookwyrm Games. We were actually fortunate enough to go to Kelowna Yule Comic Con yesterday and meet with Michael and Morgan from Bookwyrm Games. They are both absolutely phenomenal people, and they got to meet the puppy yesterday, who is taking a nap in the crate. If you haven't met the puppy, go to the Discord for free. But hey, if you need some dice, head to Bookwyrm Games. They are a phenomenal sponsor, and they've kept us on the air for about a year and a half now. I'm very excited for the projects that we have in store, and they've got some great new things that are coming soon that I can't tell you about, but guaranteed, if you like any of their quest chests, you're going to like what's in store. Go to bookwormgames.com right now and use code DorkTales to save 15%. They're an amazing sponsor, and you deserve some dice. Speaking of dice, though, I am not using Bookwyrm Games dice primarily tonight because Jen made me some dice to hurt you with. So I have a full contingent of bullet dice here that Jen made me, that I'm going to be using for this episode. So thank you, Bookwyrm Games, for the sponsorship. Thank you, Jen, for the pain. And before we begin, we've got our document with our new classes, our new powers, anything like that. Does anybody have any questions before we begin?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So with that, I think it's about time for us to get started. Here on Dork Tales with ColdIron, episode 1. All right, so the last thing that I wanted to do today before we begin is to say a big thank you, because we have a lot of great musical sponsors for this game, or a lot of musical collaboration, but none so great as our good friend Tim Kulig, who actually is orchestrating huge swaths of this campaign from scratch. So we have some original Tim Kulig music, and if you don't know Tim Kulig did the opening for Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. He did the opening that we use for Fandelver. He's a fantastic artist who does amazing stuff. Go check him out, Tim Kulig, Kulig. You can also find him in the description below if you're watching later on YouTube. He's a great guy, and he makes fantastic music, and we have been bouncing ideas off each other for weeks now. It's a big surprise that I wanted to share, and I'm very, very excited to see what happens, especially with his soundtrack behind it. No, nobody had any last questions or anything?
Actually, one quick question, Kelly.
Perfect. Good.
My cantrip, the psychic weapon cantrip.
Yeah.
Are we going with psychic damage for that one?
Yeah.
Or are we going... Oh, yeah? Perfect. Just wanted to double check.
Yeah. It's psychic damage. So without further ado, let's jump into ColdIron here on Dork Tales. I wish that I could tell you that the end of the world began with trumpets. That some divine herald ushered it in with a predestined performance that played in harmony with the celestial order of creation. I wish that I could tell you that everything transpired as it was meant to. That there was a purpose behind all of the pain. But though they call me a liar, a trickster, a thief, and I am all of these things, I am not lying when I tell you this. There was once a beautiful blue world. Its people loved, and they were loved. Though they were not perfect, they strived to be better, and with each generation, it felt like they were getting closer to that goal. But in so striving, they found hubris. And in hubris, they found their end. Was their story fated? No. Their story was written by the hand of the one they trusted the most. Because in the end, all it takes to poison a world is the evil of one person. I wish I could tell you. The end of this world, too, began with trumpets. But it did not. Instead, it began with these words. 5 strangers met in a hard and tortured land, and each one of them on the trail of a man in black. Belle. It is cold. It is impossibly cold where you are. In fact, it makes no sense. For in front of you, you can see the entire stretch of creation held out in front of you. A forest of trees burned down like the nubs of blackened matches. Everything smells like death and ruin, and in the distance beyond those burnt trees, you swear that you can see the echo of green, even in the darkness, even in that dim, smoldering candle death that is this forest. Your knees are bloody and raw. Your face is swollen with tears Your face is swollen with pain, and you can taste blood and ash on your lips. In front of you, there is a statue that you know is not a statue. And as it slowly weeps its melting ice, you cannot help but scream. It's not the scream that wakes you up. It's the sound of spurs crashing behind you like a thunderclap, and the grind of burnt bone and the smell of gun smoke. As it looms over you. You've got a lot of work to do, a low, smoky voice says. You awaken down in the belly of a steam hulk. All around you are sweat and grime of bodies. You are down in the 4th deck. The steam hulk itself is an immense ship. To call it anything, I mean, it's hulks in the name. But to call it anything less than massive would be an understatement. This thing could transport dragons upon it. Hell, from the stories you told and the great battles, when the gods raged against each other, and when the blind titan Yominger rose up again, he could have ridden on this ship without capsizing it. And yet you are stacked like so many coffins down in the 4th level. On your floor alone, in your room alone, there must be 300, maybe 400 people. All told, you have traveled over 1,000 kilometers from the nearest port of call in Avelsini on the nation of Emrys. From there, you took the steam hulk ever west, making your way past transports, eventually meeting up with another vessel, a Panshani one, that loaded even more bodies onto this ship. The steam hulks only arrive in Drace every 3.5 months. And with them, and with you, 5,000 souls are traveling. But you're not alone. You're not alone in your traveling party, I should say. As you jolt awake, the lower bunk, which has been separated for your companion because of their weight compared to yours, creaks slightly. Zoe, above you, you don't need to sleep, but that doesn't mean you can't lay down and rest when you have, paid for a voyage with a place to store your body. You hear a sharp intake as Belle awakens from a nightmare. In the time that you've known her, this is not uncommon. What do you both do?
Oh, you're awake. Well, what happened this time?
Just the same old.
I see. Would you like some tea?
She'll kind of roll over and look under the bed at you.
I can make some tea. I mean, it's the middle of the night, but I'm sure there are others.
Tea? Well, yes.
Right away.
You pull out a little camp stove, or however you make it inside of this berth. And I need to know, Amy, can you do me a favor and roll me a d10? Tell me what you get.
Sure.
Actually, you know what?
1 second.
I have something good happens. I'm just going to spend that right now.
Oh, because I rolled a 9.
Perfect. 9's exactly what I needed. There is a squeaking noise next to you, Carrion. You've been resting, doing whatever you normally would do on a transit like this. You have been traveling for 2 months. First the trip from Taliina'a over to Emrys, and then from Emrys here. You've made a bit of a home for yourself in this little corner. The best part of it, and perhaps the worst part of it at the same time, is that it's near a water tap. Meaning you have access to the freshest water that this ship can provide. But also, you are hearing everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
There's a squeaking noise next to you as the tap opens. And a large warforge begins to fill a kettle. Can I get both of you to describe yourselves?
So hulking over this tap, Zoe stands at 6'6", 305 pounds, so she does make quite a lot of noise when she's walking. She has a straw hat on top of her brass shallow body, yellow eyes, eye sockets, and a tattered, slightly burnt, maybe just singed, burnt orange colored cloak. Oh, as well as a skirt to match. Kind of a skirtish part.
Okay. And Carrion, what are you doing at this exact time? Like, are you just kind of sitting and reading? You know you're supposed to be getting into berth tomorrow. Actually making dock inside of Prospect.
If it's nighttime, she's probably was sleeping.
Okay. So this is going to squeak in a way.
She's probably like rolling over and like look at what's going on. She's probably facing the wall kind of thing. And then like roll over, look at this big figure and goes like, oh. And then we'll probably roll back over and try and go back to sleep.
All right. Sounds good.
General noises of discontent.
Just some general noises of discontent. All right. Zoe, you come back with the water, preparing it to make some tea for Belle. Can I get Belle to please describe herself as you come back and make the tea for her?
Sure. Belle is relatively short in comparison to Zoe, at least. I think she's about 5'5". The ear tips count. Counts. But she has little amount, like where she has fur still for her subtype, it's kind of a light grayish with a bit of a purple hint, I think. And then otherwise she has purple hair, which is quite long, curly. She sometimes has braids in it. Otherwise she's wearing like a light blue shirt that probably looks too big on her, but it's held in place with the corset that she's got to support and provide armor padding. And otherwise I think she's wearing like dark pants that are kind of cargo pants style, caught in at the ankles with boots, and has a couple bandoliers that she would normally wear but are kind of pushed off to one side for now with her rifle.
Nice. Okay. Do you all do anything aside from just share some tea together? Any talking? Anything else happening?
Well, Zoe would talk about whatever would make Belle the calmest. She knows how to handle this at this point. Or if silence is preferable, then it would just be silence and just serve a herbal tea for calming.
Probably something casual conversation, I'm guessing. Belle is working to not be so much in her own head all the time.
Perfect. You sit there in quiet companionship as the steam hulk continues to move toward the island of Drace, better known by those who care about such things as the Cauldron. Hours pass, and we find ourselves not on a ship, but instead in a bustling street. Trixxi, can you please describe yourself? How would you go out on a normal day?
Trixxi will be probably wearing a skirt a little bit. But she will be wearing like skirts, but have like the like pantaloons underneath it as well, just in case she gets into some trouble. But she wears a corset, a white shirt that's very low in cleavage. She stands at about 3'9", but her bust and her hips make up for any height lost. She has bright red hair that is a little bit unkempt in one side, braided off to the other, and she is this kind of pale green complexion and big wide ears that are almost her shoulder ear span, I guess. And she always has a bandolier of bullets, her inventor hat that has vials and different glasses as well. And one super noticeable feature that will probably catch newcomers' eyes is that she has an entire metal prosthetic right arm that is made of various metal pieces and cogs and very steamwork kind of looking, but is that kind of brass look to her. And right now the attachment that she has is just like another hand on it. But you see something, you might close passers-by might see opportunities for like almost like switchblade a little bit, where it has like different features might spring out.
Perfect. Today, you are in one of the lower areas of the city. I mean, that's basically where you live inside of Prospect. You live in an area, well, particularly known as Ruby Lane, the Lantern District. However, today, that's not where you are. You are making your way toward Orihalcum Row. It's a little bit higher up. Now, to describe the way that Prospect works, this town used to be a mining colony built into a giant bowl here at the tip of a fjord. A giant wall. Well, a pair of moving walls, doors, really, immense enough to block a steam hall, have been erected there where the two tallest peaks, the Bight, as they're known, meet. The Hellgate. Called such because over the past 100 years, the sulfuric air has caused it to turn a bright, rusty red. And when it opens, it makes the most horrible noise that even skilled adventurers, paladins and clerics alike, will say sounds even worse than a trip to the abyss. On the other side of this, at the lower levels, you have the Dead Vein Grottos, the old mining tunnels, where the veins went dead and since were converted into places where those who have no money, no prospects at all, live. Above that, Ebbtide Basin, the last place you want to be. It's where most of the crabbing is done, the little lake that bleeds in from behind the Hellgate. It's also a great place to find dead bodies, or dispose of them. Crab is the primary diet of everyone who lives in Ebbtide. the primary diet of the crabs is likely those people as well. It's a circle of life. Above that, the Iron Hollow, or Iron Shire, depending on whether or not you're trying to sell property in it, and the Lantern District, called such because when it was originally founded, the type of work that happens in the Lantern District was heavily policed by the Amresian military police. Panshani and Owari traders and travelers came in and set up a number of different safety measures for when the secret polices and the military police decided to get touchy. In the Lantern District, everything is lit by floating lanterns that are tied down, so that simply, when the time is right and it needs to go dark, all you have to do is cut a series of strings and have all of the light rise to the higher layers of the strata. Taking your walk from Ruby Road, or Ruby Lane, you find yourself in Orichalcum Row, the place where most of the merchants work, live, and toil. In one of the crummier parts of it is where we're going to begin with you. As you stand outside of a large, well-armored, well-dented cart. This thing has made it across the cauldron numerous times over the years. And Heberlin Bronzearm, a shock red-haired dwarf. Now, how does he have his beard? Is it a beard, mustache? What is it?
So he has like a very like curly, like not curly, but like a curled up handlebar mustache, and like not a super long beard, but it's very puffy and very kind of wide on his face. So but it's nicely like styled, but it's kept short and kind of stout, framing his face, and yeah, very well groomed.
So you can hear him banging on the side of the cart where one of his sarns, these lizard-like, slightly feathered, his is a quadruped. Kind of looks like a large salamander, about the size of a Clydesdale, is lazing in what sun trickles down into Orichalcum Row. While he crouches underneath, barefoot, as he likes to go when he's back in the city, and is working on his cart. You can hear clanging and the sound of a ratchet clicking around.
Suddenly you will see like Trixxi will suddenly hear like some gears shifting, and will instead of one of her fingers will flick out some sort of wrench, and she's just gonna shove it underneath the cart and be like, "Need a hand?"
I was wondering when you were gonna show up today. Yeah, come on down in here. Oh, God. Look at this. Scroots everywhere. I ran through a field trying to get away from a couple of, well, honestly, I don't know what they were. They had a lot of tentacles and even fewer eyes. Can you help me get some of these out? Looking underneath.
Sure.
Can you make me a nature roll?
Oh, I can try. I can certainly try. Whoops, I grabbed the wrong dice there. That was a D100 that I rolled. That's
wow.
Fantastic.
Did you roll well? It's still not one.
Nope. No. No. Alright, let's try this one. That is gonna be a 21.
A 21. You are going to see that these scroots, or screw fruits, as they're called, are embedded in the bottom of the chassis here. to go across the veldt at all, you basically have to have an armored car. Most people go with the Wayfarer Guild. They are particularly good at setting up convoys with giant plates of steel, or sometimes even fancier metals if you can pay for them, along these carriages that they will wagon train across the way. It'll be good when the Kobolds finally finish with the rail, but that's going to be probably another 10 years at this rate. They keep blowing things up that aren't meant to be blown up. But that's beside the point. He must have been going through one of the parts of the veldt that is particularly muddy, and you can see that the undercarriage of this is absolutely caked. It basically has a layer of mud icing along the underneath that is hardened into a new chitin on this cart. The cart itself is about the size of 2 Ford Econolines glued together at the waist.
Okay.
Okay. It's the van that everybody knows. Widthwise, yeah.
Yeah.
And has...
I mean, I'd personally visualize the Honda Odyssey, but you know.
Well, the Odyssey fucks. This one doesn't. Nope. All right.
That's fair.
Now, looking at this, you are going to see that he must have been going through one of the muddier terrains, because there are these immense trees that produce these things called screw fruits. And what they are, picture a banyan tree or a weeping willow the size of an immense banyan tree. We're talking that this is about 300 feet tall, maybe 400 feet tall, with a 500-foot branch span that kind of looks like how do you describe a banyan tree to anybody who hasn't seen one before? It's got hundreds and hundreds of these vines reaching over the top, like you're drawing hair as a child, almost, right? And in the particularly muddy terrain where these trees grow, they produce these very dangerous, very deadly, about pineapple-sized fruit. And they dangle off the edges of these immense vines a good 100 feet off the ground, and when the time is right, the wind picks up, the tree moves, and these things get launched across the horizon a good quarter mile in any direction because of just the way the tree functions. It's half mobile. The problem with this is, these pineapples, I need you to picture a pineapple made of the same type of material as a coconut. So we're talking like really hard, and has a spiraling screw bit shape. So if this thing falls on your head, it's going to pluck through your armor. And if it bounces up, these things are designed that when they fall, the natural rotation of their fall by the when it meets wind current is going to cause them to screw into muddy earth to get away from predators or foragers. They're edible once you can get into them, but my God, these things are a pain in the ass. And he has not 1, not 2, but 5 of these embedded in his undercarriage. And you can see where some of them are already sprouting roots and trying to grow into the ground. This is a very aggressive plant.
Broly, why were you driving so fast? You got like 5 of them under here.
Yeah, well, look, I told you, okay? There were extenuating circumstances. Like I said, lots of eyes, lots of tentacles.
Ugh. Listen. I want to hear all about that, but maybe once we get out from under this thing. But yeah, maybe I can give you a hand. I can screw fruits. Listen.
Now, you can screw a lot of things, but these fruits will probably be... You got time today?
They're the ones that usually cause me the pain.
What, the fruits? I ain't never caused you pain.
No, I said the screw fruits are the only screw that's usually that's a pain in my side.
I thought you were talking about a different type of screw, a different type of fruit. Anyway, so if you want to start working on this one, I'll tell you about this gorgeous Goliath that I met when I was up in Stark Springs.
Oh, I would love to hear about that.
Oh, man. To say he was a bear? Oh, let me just put it this way. He could just rest that tummy on my head while I did my... And he starts working.
Broly, listen, you dream about the bear and hold this torch for me.
All right, let's do it. And with that, can you make me a Tinkerer Tools roll?
I can. I'm also, I guess this would Tinker's tools or land vehicles. I'm proficient with both.
That sounds great. In that case, roll me with advantage then.
Sweet. I'm glad because I just rolled a 2 on one of those dice. And then there's a 12, so 17.
17. It takes about an hour to pry all of these things off. You have to do it careful because getting them out isn't the problem. Getting them out without harming the protective under chassis is the problem. So you have to go lefty loosey, righty tighty, and remind yourself every time. Also, they don't all grow in the same direction, which is really frustrating. Some of them are mutants that go left spiral instead of right spiral, or right spiral instead of left spiral. Wait till these things are going to evolve, and you're going to have to use like an Allen key eventually to get these out. You know, you build your own trees.
Yeah.
So you crank those out, and you'll actually have some decent fruit out of it. They're not quite ripe yet, so you'll need to leave them somewhere for a few weeks, but eventually they will be pretty solid. They taste kind of like fleshy watermelons.
Ooh.
So basically, if you made watermelon a little more like jackfruit, that's kind of what you're looking at here. He comes out from underneath the vehicle, wipes his head, and hands you a fairly strong-smelling flask. You want some?
Why are you even asking that question? Of course.
All right, well, bottoms up. I got something for you.
Oh?
Drink. Yeah, you're gonna want that drink first.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Trust me. You're gonna like it. And as he smiles at you, we are going to cross over into a different location. It's a fairly nice day, going into evening. Tally, how do you spend most of your day when you have a day off?
I think she probably just she likes to kind of just go out on the town and just have fun with people.
Okay.
Her version of fun with people. She also likes to go shopping a lot. Surprise, surprise.
All right. Where are you shopping today? And can you describe yourself as you're shopping? I want to hear where you are. You're probably up in the Painted Bazaar right now. A pretty cosmopolitan area that's slightly above your pay grade, but is a decent place if you want to go shopping for clothes.
Yeah, she's absolutely shopping for some new cute outfits to wear on stage. So she's probably in and out of a couple lingerie stores and places that kind of sell the smaller things. And as she's going around, she's quite tall. She's 5'11".
Ooh.
Very, very, very slim. And with long black hair, bright red short little horns, and her most striking feature is a set of triple wings on her back. These are like almost angel wings. I think like the style of Lucifer and Hazbin Hotel with the three distinct sets, with big red claws on them, and they are bright red. So these are big feathered red angel wings, effectively. And they're as she's going around, she's also not walking. she's just kind of gently floating down the hallways of the bazaar, and she only really touches down when she goes into a store.
Okay.
And everybody's tending to give her a fairly wide berth as she's going.
What type of shop are you headed into?
She's gonna be headed into probably a cute little lingerie store.
Okay. So heading into the I'm not going to put a background up for that because I don't know what I would use for that, but we're going to say you're heading into a small shop there on the Painted Bazaar. The Painted Bazaar is known as such because the floor, everything in here is painted. It's all a mix of graffiti and but the type of community graffiti, it's not like gang tags around here. We're talking about like murals. The grounds are sweeping kaleidoscopes of color in order to cover up the drab and rather, well, the people in the higher tiers of this city would call it pedestrian type of material that used to be under the paint. This used to be where the organizers, the foremen, and people like that of the city used to live. The old governor mansion is here, converted into a bit of a shopping center. Now they're at the higher levels, the heights. And now the main governor mansion is the Basilica Aerie, which looms over all. As you head inside, the front of this building painted in bright purples and swirling decals, you're going to hear a little bell. And inside, there's just a little bit of music playing out of a magic mouth. And you'll hear a small voice pipe up. "Welcome in, dearie. Come on toward the back. Who do we have today?"
Fantastic. It's Tally.
Tally. Oh, yes, the dancer.
Yeah.
Weren't you just in last week? Didn't I get you
Always
that?
been.
So what are we doing? Business or pleasure?
You know, I think a bit of both today. I just need something fun to be able to wear on my day off. But it's always good to have some more outfits for work as well. And of course, she is wearing just this really little lace corset and a short red skirt. And she's also, as usual, wearing a pair of large rabbit ears on her head that are actually like clicked onto her horns.
Now, can you hear me with those? You'll hear behind the counter as this little grizzled gnomish woman approaching her probably 400th year. She has dark skin that is a roadmap of life events, mostly happy, some sad, wearing thick makeup, golds and reds that accent her normal burnished brown skin. She is smoking a long cigarette held in a cigarette holder, a hand-rolled one, and leans over the counter. Picture kind of a tiny Yzma. You know, or an Eartha Kitt type figure. She leans over the counter.
Edna mode? Edna mode a little bit?
I was thinking Edna mode, but then I thought Eartha Kitt. I think Eartha Kitt's a little better. So she's got like big painted on lips that go well beyond the boundaries of her actual lips. Like we're talking like the amount of lipstick that Bugs Bunny wears. The big glistening red type. She leans across the bar, well, the counter. Well, I did just get a shipment in. Let's see, I've got lace lingerie coming in from Taliina'a right now, and then I've got a what else? I mean, I've got everything restocked right now. I mean, seeing as today is our last chance to really get things up and running. So it's pretty much your game, your smorgasbord. seeing as tonight's landing day.
Yeah, fair, and that's another reason why I figured I'd come get something cute.
Well, you might as well buy it before all of the rubes come in.
Yeah. Well, exactly. That way I get it first, because I always deserve everything first. And that way I have something cute to wear for all the new people that come into the club.
Well,
so I'm thinking something. Yeah.
Something what?
I'm thinking something red and probably just something cute and lacy, you know?
I've got these. I've got Crotch. She holds up a red lacy teddy, or more like a bustier set. Crotch or no crotch?
The second one, please.
All right, we can absolutely do that. Kat, what is your passive perception?
12.
Perfect. There is going to be behind you the most soft jingle of the front bell beyond your perception. And as you are looking around at these two that she's holding up, you are going to feel a pair of slender feminine hands reach up and cup you from behind and start to make your breasts talk. And go, I don't know, maybe you should get the one with the crotch. There's always a first time for that. You'll hear the really awful attempt at your voice of your friend Ariana.
Honey, come to help.
And yeah, well, I mean, I was out shopping anyway. So Ariana's a human girl, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or is she half elf?
She is a human girl, yeah.
Because she grew up in the orphanage with you. Can you please describe her to me?
So Ariana, she's another tall girl, very fair skinned, kind of a more shapely build, also long dark hair, dressed much more modestly, almost in kind of like I guess more of like just a scanty barmaid outfit, so not quite as exposed as Hallie is wearing, but still definitely somebody who works like in a club. Yeah, I think that's she's a human woman.
She's a human woman. She basically looks like a Veronica.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ariana is going to let go of you and say, so, I don't want to interrupt your shopping day, but I know it's your day off. Sable wants to talk to you.
Sable always wants to talk to me.
Well, okay. He seemed pretty insistent, and I couldn't gauge his mood.
We know he's a difficult one. It's probably something to do with landing day. I'll finish up here and then I'll go straight down.
Do you need help? I can help you put on stuff.
Absolutely. Always, hon.
Besides, I am gonna be trying to make some extra tips tomorrow because it has been, I don't know how you do it. It is absolutely killer for me. I'm not making next to anything right. I mean, then again, everybody's all bled out.
I mean, we know why I was hired, right?
Well, it's not because of the size of your boobs.
Always exactly. Magic can do a lot, but I haven't done that yet.
Oh, hey, did you hear the new dancer girl, Mira?
Hmm?
She just got fired. So I'm actually headlining with you tomorrow. Well, I'm backing up. Yeah. She got apparently she was doing double shifts at the Glory. So she was doing all of her dancing, and then I guess Sable didn't want to hire her to do any on her back work, so she went over to the Glory and started doing double shifts.
Oh, I mean, obviously that's gonna happen. You know, he's apparently reasonable at the best of times, let alone when you
Exactly.
start doing something he doesn't like.
Plus, he really hates Madam Stylus. Have you ever got him going about that Dragonborn? He won't shut up.
Oh my god. It's actually one of the ways that one of my main things to do when I decide I don't want a conversation anymore.
Do you think they
I'll
used
just
to
bring her
date?
up, and I'm pretty sure. I think no one else would have that much beef with somebody unless they did, right?
You know what we should
They
do?
seem to have a pretty... What?
I think we should go to the Holy Grounds after this, and we should see if there's any rumors about that.
Absolutely.
Say a little prayer to Our Lady Marib and see whether or not there's any hot goss.
Absolutely. That sounds great.
He can wait a little bit. Besides, I need coffee.
Oh, God. Me too. All the time. Another late night. It's always a late night.
All right. And with that, the two of you get back to work doing what you do best, spending money and looking like fly honeys. I do not regret saying that. With that, we transition back to the ship. The night has passed, and those of you who were on the ship were able to get some rest. The waves are crashing, and in the distance, you can see that you're approaching. The Bite, a pair of immense, tooth-like mountains, lies directly in front of you. The fjord that you are slowly coaxing down between the walls of, it starts off as the cerulean blue of the ocean and slowly blackens the closer you get to those immense red doors. As you round the northern tip of Argseagull Bay, you can see them, more than 300 feet wide and 500 feet above the water. Formerly, this was called Argseagull's Gate in honor of the late Amresian empress who ordered its creation. The acidity of the bay and the air, however, have turned it that color. And as you're approaching, in the mid-afternoon sun, you can see the Bite on either side of you, those twin mountains glittering. In the midday sun, their exposed quartz and silver veins, shining enough that it makes you cover your eyes. As you stand and wait for arrival or prepare your things, whatever you're doing aboard the ship, you can hear a bit of music playing over the speaker system that is lined throughout the ship.
Good morning! This is your news break. As we arrive in town, please remember that as we process, you need to be calm and orderly. There are 5,000 souls waiting to get off in Prospect, and you are just one of them. Please have your belongings with you. And if you paid additional fee for your belongings to be delivered to a domicile on the other side, please make sure that you check with a porter on your way out. We would also like to remind you, today is not only Arrival Day, but the 29th anniversary of the marriage of our beloved rulers, Adseagull Cassian Emrys and Claudia Belve Emrys. Remember to pay your allegiance to the Empire and keep them in your thoughts as you are setting out on a horizon that will empower the Empire for generations to come. For you're not even doing this for yourselves. You are doing this for the twin regents, Zorelia Amelindis and her brother, Maxiant Anseagull. And if we could, a moment of silence for our departed princess. It has been 3 years since we lost our beloved Amaline Leodara. Wherever she is, know that the eldest daughter of House Emrys is missed. Please, if you have time, go to the House of Farewells and light a candle for her memory. With that, welcome to Prospect. We will be arriving shortly.
Where are all of you as these messages are piped through?
Zoe's probably packed up all her stuff pretty quickly, so she's
Okay.
probably either helping Belle or probably up top.
Yeah,
All right.
I think Belle would keep her stuff together fairly well to avoid stealing. Is there like a deck that they can actually go on to be outside?
There is a top deck, and this is a massive metal ship. A lot of its internals are wooden just to reinforce it, but someone using shaped metal, some Imperial Magi, were responsible for building this, Arcanomancers and Artificers alike. This was an immense steam hulk built in the dockyards of Avelsini. And just for reference, just to give you all a size comparison, it's about the size of an aircraft carrier, but for those Canadians who have never seen one of those, it's about the size of a cruise ship, one of the big ones.
Okay. I think Belle will go up to the deck once she grabbed her stuff together just to like see what they're coming into.
As you step up, you watch, as in the distance, this immense ship. At times, the waterway of the fjord feels like it's going to grind against the side of this immense hulk. But in front of you, you see the Hellgate. Probably about 5 miles ahead of you. Sheer cliffs line this runway. It's like 5-pin bowling, almost. You're guiding down right into the dock, where you'll be processed, and then allowed to enter the cauldron. You're one step closer, and as you look out, Belle, you are going to smell the harsh reek of tobacco and burnt trees. But it's only in your memory. A few hours later, you have gathered up all of your things. The lot of you are slowly trying to worm your way through the crowds, make your way toward the offloads. There are a dozen offloading streams, but processing is time-consuming. The lot of you are probably quite hungry. People are eating rations in line. It's like waiting for movie tickets. An immense structure lies ahead of you. Just like rows of ants walking through a set of smaller double doors built into the side of the Hellgate. You can see the processing center just through those doors. And as you're walking through, you're on the top of this boat, trying to make your way amidst all of the crates and mercantile things that come in, because even though this is primarily a body vessel, there's a lot of things, creatures, fruits, vegetables, all manner of things. You find yourself kind of elbowing past crates of chickens, and stranger things still. And as you are making your way around the deck, you are all going to hear a voice yelling. A small figure climbs across a number of the crates in front of you, dressed in a red robe decorated with waving lines of hand-stitched fire. It's a kobold. Brown, reddish-brown scales, who calls out, "People of Emrys! People of the Cauldron! Hear me! Hear me and my prayer! Know that we have been asked to light at the House of Farewells, but it is all a sham. There is no salvation in the gods at hand. There is no salvation in the gods that came before, in the traitorous ones who brought upon us the sundering. Only in the great worm can we trust. Only in the light of he who would devour his own tail upon destroying the gods. The only God we can trust is the God who wishes not to be a god. So join me in prayer and cast off these false idols, these forgotten evil gods. Cast down Vela. Cast down Narn. Yes, Carrion.
Hi, can Carrion get close to this person? Do they seem like they're protected, or they're just spitting?
No, they are a street preacher. You have no idea how they even got on this ship. You haven't seen a
But they're
kobold
on the
this.
ship, right?
They're on the
they
ship.
close
They're
enough?
on the deck of the ship, and they are now you're kind of making your way through like this ship. There is so much stuff on top of it. There are cranes moving around things.
Yeah.
Dozens of people all around you. What do you want to do? He's on a bunch of crates.
Kick him off the crates.
Okay.
Which, if you pass by Belle as that happens, I think she's going to kind of turn away from him and to ignore and just lean on the rail and kind of, well, yeah, it isn't wrong, but
If I pass by Brazilia's as well, she'll kind of crouch a little bit to be a little bit closer to him, and
Okay.
just kind of follow behind her. Excuse me.
Yes. What can I do for you?
I'm so distressed.
This is the perfect time to just
Carrion
sew
wants
it.
to swing down and kick him off.
Okay.
I think he might be a little hungry.
All right. So, as you are saying, I think you might be a little hungry. I'm going to swap us over to our maps real quick. All right. So, approaching this, you can see that on the deck of the ship, there are dozens of people milling around and a kobold preacher standing up there. If you want to sneak up and knock him off, you can absolutely do so. Alternatively, you could grab onto one of the cranes and swing around.
Yeah, crane. This is very much a just shut up kind of thing, like irritated, like climb up on up on some crates. We're gonna grab onto a rope that's hanging from one of these other cranes, and we're just gonna swing, and we're going to just 2 feet straight, like kick.
That sounds wonderful. I absolutely love it. Can I get you to do me a favor then? Can you please make me an acrobatics roll?
Sure, I can do that.
And Zoe, make me a persuasion roll.
Oh, not athletics.
It's
Oh,
rope based. I'll let it be athletics, but you can
Doesn't
roll with
matter.
advantage.
I just rolled a 1. Unless you're giving me the nope.
Well, let's find out what Zoe rolled to distract him.
Not good. A 7.
A 7? All right. So, as you do that, you're going to hear, I will not be silenced. I worship Carrion, the great red worm.
Shut up!
All right. And as he screams that, Zoe, I need you to do me a favor and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Oh, I rolled a 19.
A 19?
So it's a 22.
A 22? You are not lost in this, but as you go to say you're just hungry, you suddenly get a flashback. There's fire. There's fire everywhere. The ship vanishes around you. You are now once again in the capital. You are there in Old Talos, wakened from your slumber, as you see dozens upon dozens upon dozens of dragons flying overhead. They scream and roar, fire belching out of their mouths as they soar. You can see dozens upon dozens upon dozens of hundreds of other Warforged surging forward. One of them is plucked up by a dragon a blue. Lightning crackles through their frame, and you see the mechanical portions of the Warforged disintegrate as, like a dog with a squirrel in its mouth, this dragon shakes and unleashes its lightning breath directly into its closed mouth, clamped around this Warforged. What were you doing in that moment?
I was too shocked to do anything. I'd already fallen to my knees. Helpless to do anything and just had to stare in horror.
Above you, you can see something pitch. A ship. An airship. Dozens of dragons slamming into it as it plummets toward the ground on fire. You hear the crunch behind you and turn in time to see an immense, scarred black dragon loom over you. It opens its mouth, and all there is the roar of acid. And suddenly we are back on the ship. Carrion, you climb up, grabbing onto one of these cranes that is presently moving around a crate. You go to slam into the side of this kobold, and you know what? Roll me damage. Roll me a d6, please.
Oh boy, okay. That is a 3.
A 3. Okay. With that, I'm going to make a saving throw for our good friend, the kobold. The kobold got a 4. That is not going to be good enough. All right. So you are going to knock the kobold to the ground as you swing around. The kobold's going to stop his preaching as you are going to land on top of some of the crates nearby. And as that occurs, though, Zoe, you are going to be slightly discombobulated, but you're swinging on the on that crane is going to cause it to pitch back and forth with that nat 1. There is going to be a crash overhead as one of the hooks breaks away, and the crate falls from overhead, shattering on the ground directly above Zoe. And as it does, you are going to hear a horrible sound that is going to rouse Zoe from her memory. A creature about the size of a horse is going to explode out of this crate, this cage. Anybody who wants to can go ahead and make me a nature roll. And an initiative roll would be nice too.
Do I get any? No, I probably don't know what this thing is then.
Well,
30-20 on nature.
Perfect.
nice.
Okay, and just
I
pop
got
your
a 2
initiative.
for nature, and I got an 8 for initiative.
Perfect.
I'm rolling terribly. That is a
Oh,
7.
good.
I have no idea what this is apparently. Unless I have
Okay. Unless you have advantage. You do not have advantage on this. However, for some reason, Belle is going to know this automatically. This is a guard drake. These are distantly related to dragons. This is a particularly large one. He's a chunky boy. They are guard dogs, basically. They're about the size normally of like a lion or a tiger, like a Bengal tiger. And they are particularly vicious, unless trained correctly by their handler. That is going to shatter on the ground and let out a roar, and initiative roll time. Guard Drake has a 14. So looking at this, Christine, what's your initiative?
22.
Okay. So, Amy, as you are standing on top of that crate looking down at this mess that you just caused, can you please describe Carrion for everybody now that you're in the spotlight?
Now that it is also not dark and is a visible person, I think. It's a
Exactly.
good time. So we are seeing, you are looking at a well, green, but with little horns and a tail that is relatively short, not the length you would normally expect from a tiefling, standing at 5'6", and with, if you look closer, you can see that one eye is brown, one eye is green, and has split hair color. One side is blonde, one side is like brunette. And they are wearing like brown pants and a white shirt with a purple like corset vest thing going on. And they're just sort of like pulling themselves out and like wiping dust and debris off of themselves.
Perfect. All right, as that occurs, we're going to go into initiative now. This thing roars and looks around for victims. You can see dozens of humans fleeing nearby, at least as soon as they can, as this creature lets out its bellow. And can I go... so it's Bell, then Carrion's on deck. So Bell, you're about 15 feet away from this creature right now.
Okay. Given that it came out of crates, to me that kind of says it might cost money and somebody bought it.
Probably. There's a lot of exotic animals that get brought into the cauldron.
I kind of don't want to kill it. I'm not quite sure what to do because I don't have much beyond killing stuff.
Is there anything in the environment that you'd like to use? Dropping any other crates on it? There are other cranes moving around. You could try to get one of them directed. You could, one of the cranes overhead is still moving, carrying a crate of what looks like some type of vegetables. You could try to shoot the cable and drop it on its head, maybe.
Okay.
That would be non-lethal, or at least would be like easier to heal than like Eldritch Blast.
Is there any unoccupied crate?
Tons.
Or crane nearby?
Let's find out. Yes, there are. There is one, yes.
Yeah, there are? Okay. So I'm kind of thinking dash over to that, and I kind of want to like try and get enough of the slack line to maybe try and fling its line around its neck and like hook it.
Okay, so sure, that's absolutely. So there are some cranes that have
grab the hook and run around and try and like dodge around and hook it.
So okay, I'll let you do that. So there are a number of hooked chains lying across this deck where they're getting ready to be hooked up to things. What I will allow you to do, grabbing one of those with an object interact, why don't you make me an acrobatics roll to try to dodge around this creature?
Okie dokies. That will be a dirty 20.
A dirty 20 is definitely enough. So rushing around, you're basically going to end up on its back, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay, so describe what you're doing for me. So grabbing this long, like 100-foot long length of chain that's attached to one of the cranes.
When they generally have a hook on the end.
They do. This has a
hook,
big...
whatever stuff is.
Absolutely.
I kind of want to wrap it around and hook it on itself.
Okay. You
so
will...
this sucker can be kind of leashed.
Okay.
And held in one spot.
Okay, you're going to be able to wrap it around its neck. It is going to have the grappled condition.
And then I'm going to try and get away eventually. Probably next turn.
Okay. Carrion, it's your turn. So this tabaxi has rushed forward and wrapped a chain around this creature's neck like a leash. What do you do?
The most logical thing to do here is try and subdue it. So I'm going to try and get on its back.
There's enough room. I said this is a chunky boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can easily make that leap onto its back. Can you do me a favor? So make me a... Oh god, the ride checks. Make me an animal handling check.
One second. I'm gonna grab a different dice, because these ones all hate me, apparently. Every single one of them. Well, it's slightly better. That is a 17
A 17. All right. What do you do?
This is just we're just trying to hold on and get it to calm down. We're basically going rodeo style. Like,
Okay.
let's just hold on until this thing calms down.
Okay. So you
Trying to-
basically have leapt in front of this tabaxi, kind of like almost like just bunched up against her as you're kind of like trying to calm this thing down. As you are doing so, I'm gonna spend a hurt some
She's
more.
hanging onto its neck, like trying to jump onto it and hold.
Oh, so you're like hanging off of it. Okay, so basically like she's wrapped on top of it, you're kind of wrapped underneath it. This kobold is going to scream, and there's that brief moment where this guard drake calms down as you're like shh, 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 shh. And it calms down and looks at you, and you can see that it gets that third eyelid that lazily goes across like Sarns do when they're getting calm. And then this kobold lets out a blood-curdling shriek to use its cower ability. And the guard drake is going to snap back to look down, not at you, but at it. And is going to launch itself at the kobold on its turn. All right, so it does have, it is grappled, so it has no speed, but the kobold is directly in front of him. So the kobold is still prone, but I believe grovel will offset that. So, boom, boom. Uh-oh, that's not good for the kobold. That is going to be 9 points of damage to the kobold as this guard drake snaps its fangs down on the side of this kobold's throat and begins shaking it like a chew toy. All right, that's going to be the guard drake's turn. It is, you know what? I'm going to spend another hurt them more and say, can I get a contested? Do you have mount riding as an ability, as a proficiency, Christine?
No.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me just a dex or strength roll.
Okay. Is this directly related to falling?
It is related to being knocked off. So you will land on your feet if it throws you.
Okay.
Whereas Amy, can you please
I
make
rolled
me
a
this?
15 flat.
Okay, that is not enough. On his case. So this thing is going to bite the kobold, and as it does, it's going to start doing that thing that excited horses do, where it starts jumping back and forth and bucking. And you are just going to be holding onto the chain for dear life, getting kicked around and thrown around, but not thrown from it as you're riding bareback. Amy, I would like you to make me a ride check as well to hang on to it.
Proficiency for...
You are proficient in mounts, so.
Yes. So I just make sure to add my proficiency bonus to this. Is it dexterity or just...
It's dex or strength, whichever you prefer.
Okay.
So basically it's the...
Oh, motherfucker, my dice hate me. Okay. Well, my strength and dex are the same.
Okay.
And proficiency is plus 2, so 9.
9. I'm going to spend hurt them more to have some fun. So you are going to be holding on, trying to calm it down. It bites this thing, and you are going to hold on, but its skin is wet with sea salt and sea air, and it's going to cause, or scales at least, and you are going to be thrown off and are going to be skidded across the ground, where you are going to bump up against one of the crates nearby. You're not going to take any damage, you're just dislodged. However, I'm going to make a luck roll for you to see... Oh, I'm so sorry, Amy. As that occurs, the top crate is going to shake and fall over, and is going to shatter as it hits the ground next to you, and you are going to be covered in... let's roll a d4 for this and see how many. You are going to be in the midst of two flying snakes that have wrapped themselves around you and are looking at you with confusion. So these are, they're basically like small vipers about, well, I guess that's a medium viper, about 2 feet long with little wings coming out of their backs. And I'm going to roll for the flying snakes. Oh, wow. The flying snakes have high initiative. All right, but not as high as Zoe is right now. Zoe, what are you doing?
Right now, anyway. Okay, so do I think that the kobold is still alive?
Oh boy, it's on the edge.
Yeah. Okay. In any case, I'd like to try to shield bash the thing in the face so it
Okay.
drops it.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh yeah. And I'd like to do an intimidation roll and say, drop it.
An intimidation roll?
Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
yeah, okay.
Do it. Make me an intimidation roll, please.
Oops. 18.
18, all right. I'm gonna do a luck check for the kobold. Okay. It is going to let out a low at you as you say, drop it. And it is going to set down this greasy smear of a kobold that is still breathing, but is having the worst day of his damn life.
Not a good. Let me see. I can't lay on hands right now. I know it's an action.
Yeah, it is an action.
An action. Okay.
I'll let you use
I'll
let you use your move action to pull the greasy kobold out of the way.
Yeah, I'll set him behind me and my
Okay.
shield.
Sounds good. You'll also have your bonus action.
I don't think I'll have anything for a bonus action right now.
Okay. Well, I tried.
That's all good. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
So that's it.
That's it. All right, top of the initiative again. We have the flying snakes. The flying snakes are going to look at you, Carrion. Carrion, can you do me a favor and make me a charisma save?
Possibly. Charisma? Then
Charisma.
that is a 14.
A 14. So this is technically not a charisma save in the traditional sense. I'm picturing this as an Indiana Jones style charisma save where the snakes look at you and you just kind of go, and smile at the snakes. And apparently you are very charismatic to snakes because with a 14, they are going to hiss and just kind of like start flying off in other directions, not attacking you. Now, this does not mean that they don't attack some people in the crowd who start freaking the hell out at the flying snakes. As you do. But the flying snakes have, which is a good name for a gang, now that I think about it. The flying snakes are going to be not your problem anymore. And that's their turn. Belle, you're up.
Okay, so this thing is half eaten this kobold.
Yep, and the kobold has been
Has
moved
not
out of the
gotten
way by
loose.
Zoe. Is not gotten loose from your rope yet.
But
Or your
knocked
chain.
me off, right?
No, did not knock you off. You managed to hold on.
Oh, okay. Okay, I managed to hold on. But it's clearly still being a bit recalcitrant, right?
Yes.
I would like to attempt grabbing its frill,
Okay.
leaning into its ear, and intimidating it into behaving.
Okay, go ahead and make me an intimidation roll.
Okay, gonna use the chaos dice for this one.
Okay, not one. Here it comes.
No, that was a 19, which I add 8 to. So that's 27, thank you very much.
All right, so it is going to let out a low growl and start to lower it. How do you do this?
I think I lean forward, grabbing its frills around its face, pull myself up to like kind of where its ear hole is, and kind of just whisper very menacingly that
I have a hunt, and I do not need your issues.
All right. It starts.
Sit down.
It plants its butt on the ground. And is still tense. Oh. Okay. Object interaction. Feed jerky. That sounds good. All right, Carrion, this thing's kind of looming over you. It's lapping at some jerky inside of this tabaxi's hand. And
She got knocked off and like ended up being partially sat on, but this is better.
yeah, more or less. What do you do?
Those snakes are gonna be a problem, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go try and grab one. This
Okay.
is full on. Just we're gonna try and like jump and grapple. We're gonna grab.
Okay, so jumping and trying to grab them. Go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Love being able to roll above a 10 at any point, like
what's that
double
like?
digits at any point. I don't know. I haven't done it really. I think I've had maybe one, and it was not for something useful. But let's see. If this is dexterity to just grab on, that's a 10.
It's an attack roll. So you get to use your proficiency too.
Yeah. It's a 12.
A 12? Okay, hold on. I will give you the offer. What do you say? Oh, you have a determination.
Oh, that's true. I do. Proud about that. Sure. I will use that to make that a 14.
So, leaping forward, spending your determination, you are going to be able to grab on to one of these snakes, preventing it from biting the small child that it was mostly just trying. The child has like a big fuzzy hat, and it was just trying to basically find a place to hide. So this little tiefling child is going to scream in fear as you pluck this flying snake from his head.
Do I have a bag or something on
Of
me
course.
here, like pockets?
Of course.
I'm just gonna shove it in there because it wants somewhere cozy to hide, right? That's what snakes
Okay.
like.
And what I'll let you do right now, make me a handle animals roll.
Animal handling is a 17.
17. You are going to know that flying snakes, particularly this breed, which are the aerial racerbacks, are a mated pair usually. And as soon as you put one in your pocket, the other one is going to slither your direction and try to go in the pocket as well.
I will allow that.
Perfect. All right, you've caught both of the snakes. The guard drake has been mostly subdued and is mostly just trying not to be in trouble. Zoe, it's your turn. You have a bleeding kobold on the ground.
Yeah. So it's bleeding. But also, you wouldn't say that a priest pack has like duct tape in it or something?
It has duct tape and it has duct tape, both types of tape.
Amazing. I'll probably take the duct tape,
Okay, so not the
slap
non-feathered.
some on his mouth, and then slap him with lay on hands. Yeah,
Perfect.
not this time anyways. If we were, being bullies with him, maybe, but not
All
this
right.
time.
How much lay on hands are you using on this punk?
He's pretty rude. I'm gonna do 4 of the 5 that I have.
Perfect. All right. And with that, the creature is subdued. The kobold is healed, and all around you, you can hear people still scrambling toward the exits. There's so many people, it's like moving inside of a concert at this point. You can see some of the Imperial Guard coming over to secure the position, long lances held in their hands. A couple of them have crackling man catchers that buzz with electricity from chamber compartments that are full of magic canisters. Everything okay over here?
This fool let this thing out.
And has paid for it. but thankfully not with his life this time.
And Belle will roll off of it and just kind of pat it.
All right, the 4 of you, if that one's still breathing, come over here. We've got some questions for you.
Right away.
And as the 3 of you and the kobold are led to the side, we slowly pan up to the higher reaches of the Hellgate, where we see the glint of a spyglass. We see a gloved hand stroke a dark beard. Huh. They might do. We hear. Before we take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Howdy, y'all. This is the part of the program where we talk to the chat. Welcome to episode 1 of ColdIron. How you guys doing? I know that we've been popcorning around a bit. You got to do that when people aren't already a pre-existing party. Anybody have any fun questions, comments, or concerns based on things they've seen now? Or heard now?
Not
Mildly
yet.
concerned. Mildly concerned.
Mildly concerned about what? Kobold priests?
Random kobold priests and random people watching us and like making plans for us.
Also, the great eater of worm eating his own tail. I'm kind of confused about what that means for Carrion.
I'm also kind of concerned about why Claudette's children are like the regents. What's happened to Claudette?
Perhaps regent's not the right word, but the
Heirs.
heirs. Yeah, heirs probably was the right thing
Because
to say.
regent generally means that they're taking over. You're incapacitated.
So Claudette is Empress Emrys and her husband are trying to step down.
Okay.
They are trying.
Run now.
Well, it's been 29 years of ruling, and they're trying to let their kids kind of step up and take more control. You'll be able to hear about that. Unfortunately, when they lost their eldest daughter, it was right on the verge of a marriage ceremony. It was a peace accord with the land of Akoka.
Oh no!
And then some bad stuff happened. But
my babies.
Babies. I told you there was a lot of good stuff in this. And that intro.
What was that about? A lady of gossip, something or other at a coffee shop?
Yeah, the holy grounds of Marib.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You can't tell I put a lot of work in this frickin' setting, huh?
Can't wait to see where Talfrin, Ivy, and
I mean, it has been
Very?
so there. Yeah, Very. Well, Very's in space. Very got blowed up. We knew that. Very got sent back in time and is now like beating a monkey with a stick. So, hey guys, guess what I did for the first time in the history of any Dork Tales game to my knowledge? I gave a timeline. It is 29 years from the last episode of Reign of Emrys. To the day. There you go.
Oh.
Ooh.
There you go. So, boom. Folks, thank you for tuning in. A big thank you, of course, to our sponsor, Bookwyrm Games, to Tim Kulik for giving us some cool music. All the stuff when you guys were headed into the port was him. That's his, I think, arriving at port. He actually let me like give him knowledge of like what we're doing in some of these scenes. Now we are using other music to fill in the gaps, but like his stuff is really, really fantastic. And it's all free to use. So go check him out on I think on Bandcamp or SoundCloud. Either way, Google Tim Kulik or check below and you'll be able to see where you can go listen to his stuff and use it in your games. Do it. I might have to take the dog out in a minute just because it is puppy time. But I hope you guys are having some fun because I have a lot of stuff to go through. This is my planning for last night, or my planning last night is this many Post-it notes of bullet points that I have to hit.
Yeah, doing well so far. I'm enjoying the character so far. I have not managed to really fall into the accent. I've tried to throw a few like Z instead of TH sounds and stuff like that.
You did a couple of really good ones in there, for sure.
But it's been making me hesitate each time I try and talk because I'm like, wait, what am I changing?
Right? I started off Trixxi sounding very Australian or New Zealand at first with the accent, and it's so hard when you like have these popcorn scenes to like settle into an accent because like I'm not talking for an hour and then
I was finding when I was practicing that my problem is I keep wanting to fall into Wynn's southern accent.
Fair.
Because it's very easy.
Okay.
I'm just bad at accents, so her accent's literally just like, oh, and just put on a familiar voice.
With this voice mod, I've got to be really intentional.
In the first part of the game.
Which is hard.
If you want to lower some of the settings on the voice mod and just have your tone change, Caitlan.
No, I think it's actually really good for me as a player and a person to be more intentional and direct and less wishy-washy like I usually am.
Fair. The only thing that I would recommend is just when you leave your voice mod, like leave it on so that it doesn't, because it will clip out your audio while it's trying to figure out that it's turned on. Okay. That real quick.
There's my voice.
Oh, it's just your voice. I am going to quickly take the puppy out to pee. Can you guys entertain the audience while I'm doing that?
Yeah. Totally.
Entertain the audience.
Which?
Okay.
Oh my god. Everybody's like the green guys. Like, damn. You both did such a good job. You legitimately look like you should be green. Like real life green.
Yeah. Also,
it's
it's not easy being green. Christine, you have a tail, right?
Yeah, I was basically playing with the idea that probably like it's kind of like little things. So like ears, tail probably has like legit claws type looking.
Fair enough. Yeah, because I know
there's the puppy.
Ooh, that's a puppy.
There's
Muse,
our little butthole.
As we all know, Muse from XLR. She was our first Awusi. Just wondering how much of a tail you had. So
yeah,
which is also funny because I forgot to mention in my description that Taliina'a has a tail as well. She has a little devil tail with like a heart at the end of it. So 3 out of 5 of us have tails.
Nice. But yeah, because the subclass of Tabaxi is our one, which is more cat girl style. Because I don't want to have to try and fake fur, or fake a cat face, or make up that because it takes too long. So I think
Not
very
quite as
humanoid, but with
just
a few like
Leonin.
a few kind of hints at animal background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Muse was basically just like an anime cat girl. She had the ears and the tail, and she had claws, and she had slit pupils as well, actually.
That's why she was Awusi.
She was
Ew. I need to see if I can find a glove that is a little more color match towards that.
Yeah.
I mean, you might just have to get white and see if you can get some green
Ooh.
yellow dye and
Dye it. Go
slowly-
get some of that.
especially if you did
clothing
like
dye.
weak levels, you could do multiple dip dyes until you got it to where you wanted it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to have
Pricier.
sugar pepper gloves. that I was
Yeah,
gonna
we
use.
love color. Has a lot of different colors. Really, really worth it. They have all
What's it
sorts of
called?
different bodysuits, gloves, goes up to the shoulders, thigh highs, body.
What is this website, Caitlan?
We love color. Or colors. Let me find it.
Yeah. Oh, so why is my default search engine Yahoo again? I never want it to be Yahoo.
Gross. I hate that for you.
Why? We love colors. Okay, let's look at this.
Actively trying to make us
Oh.
suffer. First with Christine's auto opening into Edge, you with your auto
Ooh.
search of Yahoo. None of us want this.
That was so frustrating. Why would it do that? It's just so.
I'll be honest, I do use Edge at home.
Why?
Why?
I just haven't felt the need to download Firefox yet.
Chrome?
And I hate Chrome.
Okay.
Yeah, Chrome does take a lot of like effort for the computer, but
Yeah.
I got used to having to use it for work because half of our websites wouldn't open with anything but Chrome.
Hey, Traz, listen
It's
here,
not
you little...
supported for Firefox, and about half the especially when Edge came out, everything wanted to default to it, but nothing that I used for work would open in Edge properly. Like it would open and then nothing would actually happen. You wouldn't see anything. And it was, or it would open, but then you couldn't click on anything. It just wouldn't react. It was very frustrating.
Huh. All right. Is this gonna be a whiny butt?
I feel like that should be Teddy's middle name.
Teddy whiny butt.
Yeah.
I'll throw him the.
He's cute though, so it does make up for it a little bit.
It does. It does. He's adorable. He has his very adorable, cute, cuddly moments, and they generally outweigh his monster terror moments.
I
It
should
makes
see
it
if I can put these horns on Vincent and take a photo of
There
him.
we go.
Because he's the devil.
Yes.
My little devil bun.
But yes, the DM is back. He had to go let the dog out because
let
Robin
the dog out?
is dressed like a goblin right now.
I've already been outside once, and don't think anyone saw me. But you know,
So-
my
Real
I
quick
got
funny
the
thing.
delivery. Oh yeah.
So real quick funny thing. Next door, for some reason, the house next door to Robin's is like covered in quails. Or like little, or whatever they are. They look like little quails.
yeah, they're quails.
They're
They're quails.
they're constantly out there. They're always hanging out. They're all making quail noises. It's really cute. Never had a problem. He's always just been really curious. Today, I'm trying to get him to poop. He doesn't, of course, because of course he doesn't. We're in the middle of a game. And he looks up and there's one quail. There's normally like 30 of them over there. Today, it's just one quail hanging out. It kind of looks around and goes, like a quail does. And he immediately just goes, fuck that, and starts running back to the house with his head down, his ears tugged.
We've got a scaredy dog.
Chicken shit.
He's chicken shit.
Quailing in terror.
Yes. It's so funny because he's not afraid of noises. He's afraid of animals. And he's not afraid of people.
No.
But he's afraid of other dogs, which, Robin, I think your neighbor's dog is named Sorsha. Like from Willow.
Sorsha. Oh.
Because your neighbor was yelling at her last night. It's a her, apparently. I always thought the barky dog was a boy.
No, it's a her. I know that.
Oh, okay.
So I got the delivery notification that my stuff had been dropped off, and I'm like, "Ooh, I want to go get my horns so I can put them on in the second half of the game."
Yeah.
And I look like this.
As you do. I mean, you look like that normally, don't you?
Truth. But I mean, I got a lot more boob out and stuff, and I didn't take my ears off. And I go outside to pick up my package, and I'm in the driveway, and one of my neighbors just walking past, and we just look at each other, and I'm just like, "Yep," and I ran back inside.
Like, I'm a cam
He's
girl,
like,
leave me
"Oh,
alone.
boy. I'm an e-girl, leave me alone. I'm just an e-girl.
I'm just an
I
e-girl.
just
Oh my,
have a little bit of ooh-wooing to do."
got some ooh-woo. All right, so folks, thank you so much for your patience. The dog has been crated. Hopefully he'll fall asleep and will not have to be let out, but hey, that's probably not what's going to happen. And I think it's time for us to head back into ColdIron. Any last questions before we head back in? Perfect. Love it. All right, so folks, without further ado, let's head back into ColdIron here on Dork Tales. Hello and welcome back to ColdIron. Now, a few minutes ago, well, a while ago, you, Trixxi, we find ourselves upstairs inside of Trixxi's bedroom. Inside of here, there we go. It's a small room at the top of a social house, we'll say, called The Glory, up there on the 3rd floor. Down below, you can hear the sound of the day shift working away. It's a drinking establishment as well, of course. You need to get your clients nice and lubricated before they get you. Well, besides that, you are in your room. The bed is far larger than it could possibly be to accommodate you. And it is you there with your friend Broly. You have yet to do any of the things that you need to make a living for the day, but you have helped Broly fix his wagon. As you're upstairs, he has a large case in his hand, a leather doctor's bag style one. So, I wanted to come by and give you a present.
A present?
A present for you.
Aw.
Look.
What?
Here, shut the door.
All right.
Okay.
Thunk.
I didn't do nothing, okay? I didn't do nothing. I never gave you this.
Okay.
But I figure if anybody's... I gotta build up the suspense, he says, smoothing down his bright red mustache.
Listen, I'm the expert of building suspense here.
No, you're the
But,
expert of edging to get your clients to pay double premium. Look. You have a gift. Okay? You built a mechanical arm. You can fix my wagon no matter how many times I almost get the damn thing blowed up. So I thought this would be useful for you, because I have no idea what to do with it. I thought you might. He walks over to one of your shelves, your dresser. Brushes some of the knickknacks and accoutrements. Do you want to describe what your room is like? It's about the size of like a hotel suite. So there is like a separate room where you can get bathed. I kind of picture that like half of the room is divided by like a curtain that your workspace is on the other side of.
Yes, 100%. Where the like not bed, like the bedroom side is like pretty organized, pretty neat. It's kind of actually barren, but behind this curtain is just like scattered full of nuts and bolts and pieces of metal and weird, like it looks like a mix between a mad scientist desks and a mechanic's desk, where it's just a bunch of stuff just like spread out everywhere in her room.
Okay. He's going to go over and just kind of push some of the non-breakable stuff onto the floor off of one of your shelves. Okay. I was up near the sulfur flats. They got a bunch of mining operations up there right now, right? And that's where I found this. And it ain't much, but I figure it's kind of interesting. Can I borrow your, He gestures at a pair of very thick leather gloves, the kind that you would use to run a crucible.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know what these things do, okay? He reaches, puts them on. They're badly fitting. He's obviously a large hand, and this is a small. But it's enough that he can kind of fold them over.
Trixxi is like behind, like pressed so up against and behind, trying to see. Like she is just like, she's like basically, let me at it.
He reaches into his bag and pulls out a lump of ore. About the size of a chicken egg, a golf ball. And as soon as you see it, this thing glitters. No, it shimmers, it oozes like an oil slick. It's dark metal, the color of hematite, streaked with oil slicks of silver. But you know when you're looking at an oil slick and you can see breaks in the streak? Between those breaks, it glows a dark burgundy bordering on purple. Can you make me a nature roll or a history roll?
Nature, history. They're both the same. Okay. 17 plus 3 is a dirty 20.
Okay. You're going to want to take notes for this.
Yeah.
This spherical bit of ore is trapped in a bunch of shale, slate, and a little bit of obsidian from the looks of it. You'll recognize this immediately. This is what the elves call Argid Bow. What the dwarves call Duskora. What the Amresians call Oscurian. But in the artificer communities around here, and in the mining communities, there are only two names that matter. The unrefined mineral, the black rock, and the refined, the cold iron. This stuff is incredibly valuable. And with an unnatural 20, you know that in particular, of the tripartite alliance that governs the cauldron, you're not sure whether or not the Inarans care that much about it. But you know for a fact that the Amresians are looking for this stuff like crazy. And are paying premium for this. To give you a sense of this, I came over to your house and I pulled out a bit of plutonium and set it on your dresser.
Huh. Where the fuck did you find this?
There was a mining site kind of near, well, up by Stark Springs. A place called Camp Nowhere. It's one of them prospecting operations, you know? The ones where they take all of all the real desperate types, and send them into the Badlands with a couple of foremen from the Empire. I didn't stick around too long, but this was left out. It was, I was going by to see if they needed any trade, you know? Candles, coffee, anything else that I got in my cart. I figured miners need that. I even had a bunch of tins of anchovies and oysters. You know, in case they found something good and wanted to celebrate. Some champagne.
Mm.
It was gone. The whole camp. I'd been there once before. There were a couple of longhouses that had been erected for barracks. And a bunch of tents. And it was... something went through there. He starts to clam up, get a faraway look in his eyes. You could probably try to convince him to tell you a little bit more, but he looks shaken.
What did you... What did you see? Come
Make me a
Goldie,
persuasion.
Don't climb up on me now.
Make me a persuasion roll.
Ooh, that's 16, 19. I'm going to throw some determination to make that a 21.
He shakes his head. You're right. Just, look, I've seen dragon attacks before. They're horrible. But at least they leave something behind. There's... everything about that place just kind of felt wrong. Like... Do you understand the theory of acoustic resonance? And sound? Okay. So you know how there's pitches? That if you play a pitch that's a counter pitch to another one, you could cancel it out?
Yeah.
Everything I remember about that settlement. It's like when I got there, I remembered the exact opposite. It's like something ate it. Like it never was. And it was just melted sand. And a ghost of what used to be there. Or maybe I went to the wrong place. Maybe they picked up shove and left. You know, maybe they just covered the tracks because they didn't find much. I found that next to where I remember the mine shaft used to be, but now it was just an old cave.
So it was like they were never there, or was it like they cleaned up camp and left?
Like they were never there.
What kind of magic could do that?
I don't know, but either way, I got that, and that's... Look, that little bit right there is probably worth enough to get you out of a place like this if you wanted to. But, I think it might be more fun to play with.
Yeah,
Think of all-
besides, I haven't finished what I came here for, so why would I go out? I got plenty of time to earn a way out.
Yeah, plus think of all of the cool gadgets you can dream up on your back.
It's true. Honestly, it's pretty boring most of the time. I have that time for space. Get in the zone.
Fair. Let me know what you come up with. Because,
I will, I promise. You'll get the first prototype. That's not gonna explode in your face.
good. I don't want to get exploded. I like my face. It's where I keep all my best features.
It's true. It's a very nice face.
Oh, thank you.
You're very wholesome. You want to be I want to trade with you. It's what it says.
You want to trade faces with me?
No. You have a good face that would be like, oh yeah, I trust this guy. He's gonna sell me some good shit.
Oh, I've got like a
And he's
trustworthy
trustworthy.
face. Okay. You know this place is
Sorry
going
about
to the.
the noise. There's a canine next door or something. They must be having a good time with their
They're
client.
having a great time. Jeez. I was going to say this place is going to the dogs.
It's
Oh, I think they're probably doing some S&M play over there. I hear the whining. Look, I'm gonna leave you with this, and you let me know if you need anything else. I'm gonna be headed back out to the field probably as soon as I can be. To be honest, I'm gonna see if there's anything else good to find.
before you leave, I have something for you. I was
What? What'd you get?
thinking, and I have something for you.
No, you shouldn't have.
Oh, come on! You gave me some. You gave me.
Look, I'm just being polite. You absolutely should have. Give me the thing.
All right. Get your grubby paws away. And she will like start shuffling through, and she'll pull out this very like slapdash put together, like
Wow, they're having fun.
like ball almost. Has a couple like switches on it, and she's like, okay, so here I've been playing around with this. And watch this. And she'll click it, and then all of a sudden the room will get very foggy.
That's why. How'd you do that?
I just some powder, and I took a bit of I took inspiration from some casters that I met that know like fog cloud almost. So it's almost like I've stored the spell in here a little bit. But yeah, feel free. I know how to make them, so you feel free to have a couple.
You should.
But smoke bombs, I call them.
You know what you should do? You should go up. You should go up to the heights. You should see if you can go to the Piazza Solis, you know, the real fancy market. And you should go up to some of them perfume kiosks and see if you can put those in there. Those guys are always trying to spray everybody.
Oh, this is an idea. No one notices Trixxi. She's a little Trixxi. You could go.
Suddenly, there's a knock at the door.
Oh shit! How late is it?
It's 18th? 19th bell. You're on shift.
What I be expecting? Yeah, I'm on shift. Yeah. Shit, I gotta go. It's working time, bro.
I'll head
Girl's
out the
gotta
back.
make her wages.
And with
As
that,
you do so.
he'll gather up his things and head out through the unassuming door in the bathroom. And how do you answer the door?
Trixxi will take off her kind of bullet bandolier, which is falling apart on Robin, so this works too. She'll kind of pull her shirt down a little bit, take off her inventor cap, and just kind of go to the door, very kind of demure and shyly, and just kind of open it up.
On the other
Smirk on her
side,
face.
you will see a humbly dressed red tiefling. Standing nervously on the other side of the door, you'll recognize him as Akvir, the young farm boy. He's just past his name day, just an adult, and he's standing there nervously on the other side of the door, wringing his tail in both hands. Hi, Miss Trixxi.
Akvir, how you doing?
Better now that I see you. We were We're in town from Burden dropping off a load of produce, and I thought I'd come by and see how y'all are doing.
Aren't you just the sweetest?
Can I come in? They're kind of loud.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Please, right this way. And she will gesture into the bedroom.
He swallows thickly, and we shut the door. And I think that's where we're going to cut you there, because Doggy is going bark, 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 bark.
Dog goes bark, bark.
Dog goes bark, bark. Okay.
Just wants to roleplay.
I will add one thing. As the door shuts, will suddenly, the camera will just like see her cloak like kind of fall to the floor.
Nice. We see some goblin butt.
Quick flash.
Quick flash goblin butt. Everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to cut across town then to... There it is. We cut across town where Taliina'a. It's getting on in the evening. You've gone and done your shopping, hung out with Ariana, and now it's time to head back and meet with Sable. The men at the door say that he's waiting inside of his office. His office is just a back bar area there at the Gilded Garter. Do you head inside?
Yes.
As you do, it's a wide, expansive room with a number of tables for private clientele, more than any office, really. The actual bookkeeping is done by others. As you enter, you hear the dancing notes of a piano. And will hear a low growl. Inside of this room, lying on the floor next to a player piano that is actually being played, is a huge dog. In our world, he would be a roided out Great Dane. But in this world, he's known she's known actually, as what is called a Zetrovian Greathound. These are magic-sniffing, magic-eating dogs that Sable bought at quite a premium. This one, whose name is Sach, looks up and lets out a low growl of recognition. Playing on the piano, fingers dancing over, you can see that he's handsome even from the back. He has a permanent 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock shadow over his fairly tanned skin. He's fit. More of a runner's body than anything. Lithe, and you can hear the sound of his grin parting his whiskers before he turns. He has black hair that is coiffed up, as well as a black shirt and vest combo. I was wondering when you were going to get here.
Just had to finish up some shopping. You know, keep myself looking nice.
I see. Do you play? I never remember. Come,
Yeah.
join me.
I do.
He scoots aside and pats the seat of the piano.
She will join?
So, Ariana gave you my message?
She did.
Good. Such, sit. The dog will stop growling and will just go and put its paws down in its hands. How is everything? Are you excited? You're going to be getting quite a pay bump with tonight's arrivals.
Yeah, landing day is always interesting.
Oh, who knows? We might even get some more
For sure.
dances.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't gone out to find any recently.
Oh,
We'll have to do that
okay.
soon.
In fact, play with me, please. Make me a performance roll.
You got it. That's gonna be 25.
25. All right, so you start mimicking his motions, playing this undulating melody. I was going to tell you. I need you to get one more. At least. We've had a bit of a trouble. It appears that your friend... what was that one? The Sabrina.
Yes.
They need a replacement. Unfortunately, the dear girl didn't last at her current place of business.
She's gonna drop her smile and stop playing. What do you mean didn't last? I trained her myself.
Yes, but a couple of lead slugs between the eyes will stop anyone from dancing, won't it? Apparently she couldn't keep her damned mouth shut and pissed off the wrong person.
She always
I
liked to
told-
talk, that's for sure.
Can you do me a favor and, what's your AC?
14?
Okay, there is suddenly a clang as he pulls the slider out and slams it on your fingertips. And it starts holding it down on top of you. I told you to vet the fucking girls. And now I've got a dead, dancing whore up in Stark Springs, and the other one, that Mira, has ran off before she even reached her location. Do you know how bad this looks for me, Taliina'a?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good. He'll slide it back up. Off of your fingers. Good. I would hate to think that we were some type of, misunderstanding between us. He starts playing again.
Never, sir.
So here's the deal. That tiefling bitch has ran off. You've lost the human that we sent up. And now we have nothing to make up for it. So, like I said before, I need you to get one more. 3.
Do you have anybody in mind?
No, but they're processing right now, so I suggest you get your little ass down to the processing docks and start luring some stupid bitches back here for indoctrination.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Of course. And, oh, I'm sorry. Looks like you broke a nail. Do you want me to fix that?
Please.
Of course. He will smile, take your hand, and give it a gentle kiss on the knuckles. And will turn to no one in the room and will say, Varen, Dumont. And out of nowhere, a half-elf woman with cascading white blonde hair will step out and say, if I must, and will cast mending on your nail. You sure took your time getting here.
took a little bit of extra time.
She whispers in your ear, "He may not mind waiting for your ass, but I have better things to do. Now go and get 3 more girls for us. And don't rest until you do." Can you make me a wisdom save, please?
Yup, absolutely. That's a dirty 20.
Okay. All right. So the suggestion will not take, but you will feel those honeyed words begin kind of coiling around your brain. You know it's serious enough when she's ready to use something. Good. Oh, I'm glad we're all just wonderful here. Well, in the meanwhile, perhaps, if you don't make it back with 3 new candidates before your shift tomorrow, I'm sure that Ariana wouldn't mind.
I'll be back. She's fine where she is.
Good. We both know that she couldn't ever amount to what you do, right?
You have been, 2 of you have been training me for 5 years.
Oh,
so,
Tally, it's a matter of raw talent. You don't have to hide. You're better. And that's fine. You're the real talent. Right?
Right.
Well, go on. Processing hall's going to be closed soon. At the very least, you'll be able to pick through the dregs, and there'll be time tomorrow.
I mean, the dregs are usually the easiest ones to manipulate in.
Good. Bring some really exotic ones.
Not a desperate soul, after all. I'll see what I can do, sir.
Good.
And she will turn on her heels and leave.
Okay.
She is terrified of this man.
Good. And as you leave and shut the door behind you, he's going to turn and smile to one of the walls. See? She doesn't think you're good enough. And you will hear a slide as a pair of eye slits in the wall will shut, with a pair of very familiar eyes matching Ariana's. There, is he awful enough for you, Kat?
Oh, man! Oh, man! Wow. I am tense.
Good, good. You'll have some time.
We have about 5 inches of private chat of the rest of us just being like, fuck this asshole. He's dying. He is dying ASAP. How can we kill this guy the worst way possible?
Holy smokes!
And if he's going to be slamming things on someone's fingers, there's other things that can be slammed into the piano.
You
lid.
guys are so cute. All right. Cutting across the city. It's late by the time that the lot of you are allowed into the processing center. One by one, you are shepherded into a small room. One by one, you meet the man on the other side. A drow sits on the other end of the desk. Yes. Dressed in ceremonial leathers that indicate his place as a member of the Elven intelligence community. You could have gotten an Immersion processor, but instead you got this man. As each of you is sat down in your own time, and we're going to be doing some flashing back across the three of you, between Carrion, Belle, and Zoe. He looks at you and says, "Well, Matt, I'm Anfelin Vizeros. I'm your processing agent for today. Thank you for submitting your documents in good working order. It says here that you are a veteran of the Dragon War. Miss Zoe?"
Yes, sir. You are correct.
It says that you served at the Battle of Old Talos.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
What was it like? Did you see... Did you actually see them fight?
Yes, sir.
I heard it was glorious.
That is one way to put it.
And did you see...
It was also devastating.
Devastating. You know, devastation seemed to follow that party around wherever they went. I met them once. Back when I was an intelligence officer in the city of Azabak. So, did you serve in the Sundering as well? You were decommissioned at that time,
Yes, sir.
so you...
I think... Oh, no. No. I missed that one, sir.
It's too bad. That was the fun one.
Did you?
Well...
That is unfortunate, then.
Do you have any religious or political alliances that we need to be made aware of?
Yes, sir. I am a paladin of Brig.
Brig? Aren't you,
Yes, sir.
a little bit tall for a Brigite? Normally they're about this tall.
Well, but my mother was shorter, sir.
Excellent. Do you have the entrance fee? Or will you be taking the debtor's mark?
Yes,
I don't think you have 50 gold on you.
I don't have like a fifth of that.
Okay.
I need to take a debtor's mark, sir. But I will be good for it.
Of course. Now, there is no rush. Debtor's marks, you can pay the interest on the debtor's mark as well as a lump payment at the start of every moon. Every moon cycle, you can head to your local Bank of Drace or any establishment that acts as a conduit and may pay. Monthly, there's a minimum payment of, for you, an ex-veteran, you're probably good for it, 2 gold coins per month.
Understood.
In perpetuity. Good. Merely hold your hand out over the pad here.
Like a stamp?
Like a stamp.
She'll put her hand up.
Now, it's like putting your hand into... A stamp is the right way to say that, actually, Zoe, because the giant office stamps, the ones that flip around when you stamp them down, it's like one of those, except it's about 5 times larger, big enough for even the largest hand to go inside of. And as you put your hand in there, there is a brief flash of light. There's no part that moves down, but you are going to see magical light etch itself into your chassis. And a mark on your hand will appear. Good. It may migrate with time. If you are tardy for your payments, that mark will migrate. If you are in arrears for 6 months, it will be visible on your forehead.
Oh, that seems inconvenient.
If it reaches your forehead, that is a sign that you have, we'll say, given up on the system.
Oh.
Will be considered to be a non-contributing member of society then. And will not be protected by laws.
Understood, sir.
I look forward to seeing you out here. And if you need any work, I have a feeling that there are quite a few organizations that are looking for a bit of muscle.
That sounds perfect.
You may go.
Oh, I'm actually quite good at cooking as well. If there are any establishments that need cooks, or tea brewers, or tenders, I have many abilities, sir.
Well, you can always check at, I would check in Ruby Lane. They're always looking for extra cooks around there.
Right.
Just head
Thank
toward
you,
Red
sir.
Light.
I appreciate.
Of course. Next!
Yes. After.
You are escorted out to a small hall where there are a series of uncomfortable chairs there for you to wait for Belle. Carrion, you are processed next. This elf looks you up and down. Carrion Slaughterhouse. That's quite a name. Profession?
Rancher. Wrangler?
You good with animals?
Yes.
Any political or religious allegiances that the tripartite needs to...
No.
And if I may ask, just for our census, you are obviously part orc and part tiefling. Is that correct?
Sort of. Yeah.
Interesting combination. Your parents aren't Nernites?
No.
Good. We have very little use for them after the whole hubbubaloo. Good. Do you have an entry fee? Oh, will you be taking the debtor's mark?
I think I'll be taking the mark then, sir.
All right. Hand of choice, please.
Left.
All right. Just hold it still. Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse.
What?
The magic is going to imprint into your hand, that sigil. I knew I'd heard that name before. Slaughterhouse. Actually, another slaughterhouse came through here several months ago. On the last 2 arrivals ago.
Just the one, though.
That I know of. There are many processors here. This was... Heresy, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey.
Are you related? Carrion and Heresy?
Well, she tends to go by Hera. And Carrie.
Why?
Carrion's pointing at herself. But you didn't happen to know if there's been a I'm not sure if I said. He goes by Reggie. Sort of feel that his name would be a little bit awkward and...
Are you asking me to pull private records of other travelers for you?
The family.
Given your heritage, I imagine that you have a lot of family in your mixed blood.
But I only have 2 siblings though.
It's good. Your parents showed some restraint. Unusual for orcs. Normally breed like weeds.
Oh, that's funny. Carrion's not laughing. She's just like dead-faced, like.
I could look in the records for an administrative fee.
Yeah, I think I can just sort of go looking for myself. I don't think that's really necessary. So, any more questions?
Stay out of trouble. Next!
Not a question, but thank you for your time.
The door will open. You'll be ushered out where you'll see that Warforged is sitting.
Hello. Oh, hello.
Hello.
This seat's available, if you'd like.
I think I'd just rather get out of here.
Oh, have a good day then.
We smash back to the room. Belle St. Clair. To beast folk. You're from Dagvin's Reach? Dagvin's Reach?
That's correct.
I hear it's become quite the popular place in the last couple hundred years.
There is a thriving city.
Coming alone?
I was traveling with a friend, but I'm paying my own way.
Do you have the processing fee?
No.
All right. You understand the nature of the mark and what it conveys. However, someone with your appearance should have no problem making additional money in Ruby Lane, if needed.
I'm quite an accomplished hunter, so I'm sure I'll find work.
Also good. You're from Wildhaven originally. I heard that there was a tragedy there. Were you, is everything all right? You're not fleeing from that, are you? Migrating?
Well, when you've lost everything, from youngest to oldest in your family, I suppose you could call it fleeing.
You still have your life.
That is true.
Choose a hand, put it in the marker.
She'll put her left hand in.
I wish you the best. Good luck, and
Thank you.
any political or religious affiliations that we need to be made aware of?
No.
As he says that, you are going to see a figure materialize out of smoke and darkness directly behind him in this room. You're on the other side of this long table, looking at him, looking at this lifetime, centuries and centuries old bureaucrat. And this figure emerges. The figure is made of tobacco smoke and gun smoke and shadow, with a long, broad hat and a flowing cape, poncho. It's all melded into shadow. It leans over, and in your ears only, you're going to hear, "No affiliations, huh?"
She's not going to respond out loud.
I reckon
You've got some affiliating.
Can she think at her patron?
Sure.
Just, well, he asked if they needed to know, and they don't.
Good. Now let's go get that son of a bitch.
He's going to say, Miss St. Clair, you can remove your hand now.
Thank you.
Next! And the door will open. Finally. Some of the last for the night. And as you're ushered out, true enough, the streets of the city are dark. You are some of the last people to be processed here. And as you step out into the night, looking for what to do, where to go, a figure steps out of the darkness, all smiles. Taliina'a, the hunting has been particularly brutal tonight. Lots of families. And the bastard waited so late to tell you about this that you barely made it there while there were still people coming out of processing. And if you're not supposed to be going back home until this, gods, this is going to be damned near impossible. Not only that, but perhaps worst of all, you are going to have to probably find a place to stay because the taverns, the inns, everywhere completely fills up on arrival day. People sleep in barns. The barns book up. But it might be a little better than not, because stepping out of the processing center, you will see 3 feminine shapes. A green-skinned tiefling, a towering, somehow curvaceous warforged, and everyone's favorite. Well, a certain type of clientele at least. An honest-to-God cat beast folk. What do you do?
She's gonna float up to the group and gently set herself down. Big smile. Welcome to town, ladies.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Are you looking for somewhere to stay tonight?
Oh, that is probably a good idea. Also, I got told that Ruby Lane might be looking for some cooks. Could you point that out on my map? It is going to be the oldest ass map you have ever seen in your life.
A little bit of it crumbles.
That actually works great because that's where I'm heading right now, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, you can come with me if you'd like. I can get you a place to stay for the night. I could probably get you a job.
I think that'll be good. Well, do you think that'll be good?
I would like to insight check this person who's just come up and asked for nothing.
Sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and say, Taliina'a, give me a persuasion roll.
You got it. Ooh, that's gonna be a 26.
Ouch. 19.
It's a little sus, but she's being nice, and you know, she knows that, I'll say that during that she'll say that she knows a place that's like not terribly expensive.
Okay.
So you'll still have to pay something. But yeah. So Taliina'a, you know that with things booking up this way, there's perhaps one place that you know is going to be able to accommodate. Unfortunately, well, you know what? Sable made his own bed by asking you to do this, and if you're not allowed to go across the street to back home, you're going to go across the other street to the Glory, where you know that they're renting out some of the top rooms, the ones that definitely need renovation up on the 4th floor. They're hovels. But you don't have a bad relationship with Madam Stylus.
Yeah, so the place that I generally live and work, it's just closed up for right now, but I happen to know a nice little place on the other side of the lane. We can stay there tonight, and then I can introduce you in the morning if you'd like. It's a great place to work. I've been there for about 5 years now, actually. The owner is just amazing.
Oh, right. What do you do?
I'm a dancer. I'm an entertainer, actually.
Oh, what kind of dancing?
Any kind, really. I also do performing as well. I do piano. I play multiple instruments, and I sing.
Multi-talented. Very nice.
Yeah, we have a sizable kitchen as well.
Oh, that sounds like it's right up my alley. Oh, I'm Zoe, by the way. She'll extend a very long arm towards you. Oh.
She's gonna do a bit of a dip and go, Taliina'a.
Nice to meet
Call me
you.
Tally.
Oh, Tally. Excellent.
And she's gonna gesture to Belle. Hey, what was your name? I didn't catch it.
Belle.
Would you like to join us as well?
Well, I am traveling with Zoe.
Fantastic. And then
What sort of work are you thinking of?
what do you do?
I'm a hunter.
We're actually in need of a hunter at the moment.
Really?
Yeah. My boss could
Convenient.
fill you in and all with all the details, but yeah, we're actually in the market for a hunter right now for out of town, so could be really beneficial.
So, do you all hunt to the Lantern District? Okay.
I think it's kind of the option we have right now.
The sky overhead is about to burst, dropping rain that smells like sulfur down on you. You make your way down the winding corridors deeper into the bowels of the city. The Lantern District is, as such, lit by red lanterns that send a glow about. And you find yourself soon in a bustling building. Outside, you can hear the sound of rapid playing. And Taliina'a, can you do me a favor and give me one more persuasion roll to see if you can get some
Yes,
rooms
of-
for these folk?
Yes, of course. Persuasion, that's going to be a 21.
A red-horned tiefling that looks like he eats protein every hour on the hour is standing guard. His name is Justice. One of his horns has been broken off, and his eye on the opposite side looks like, well, you know for a fact that horn was used to gouge out that eye. He now has an ersatz eye that rolls around, because it was a discount item, that rolls around and keeps an eye on things whenever it's not just sagging. He takes a little bit of a bribe that you were given to grease some wheels and says, "Hey, so, the Glory's booked up tonight, but, if you'd like, your room's upstairs. It's nothing special. We're still in the middle of renovating it. but it's dry and it'll keep you out of the wet.
Thank you, Justice.
Hey, no problem. You can settle up tomorrow, and you can pay for the rest of the week tomorrow once you get up, if you want to stay there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Hey, I'm gonna spend if something good happens for you. As you're wandering there, like kind of milling around outside, this tiefling bouncer is going to lean over and say, "You guys are in good hands. Taliina'a grew up here. She's an orphan. She's got a soft spot for other people who come in like, wayward ducklings or whatnot. Community service work. That said, you guys are some lookers, and Madam Stylus is the Madam of the Glory. She's always looking for talent. All sorts. Men, women, NBs, conversationalists, whatever.
Do you need a cook or a hearth stoker?
I think the hearse are being stoked right now. You're going to hear a loud moan, and one of the windows above is going to have a scaly hand slap into it, and on top of it, a gnomish hand is going to grab it, and it's going to squeak down the window.
Oh my. That doesn't seem like any hearth I've ever seen.
I imagine it's pretty steamy, but, we might need a cook. Come back tomorrow, speak with Madam Stylus. You can't miss her. She's a dragonborn, amethyst type. You don't see very many of them around.
Excellent. I will keep that in mind.
Heading upstairs, the room that they have you in is just a single room that you can share. It's one of the corner ones where the ceiling actually slants in at the top because of the roof. And the wallpaper is peeling. It's old and probably hasn't been serviced in about 20 or 30 years. It smells like mothballs, but it's dry. And despite the hallway, and as you're walking up, you're walking off progressively nicer carpet, and then more threadbare carpet when you get to the fourth floor. The sound of carnal delights are going to echo through the floor slats, but you are going to notice something very pleasant. And that is when you go inside of this room, those sounds of jubilance and union are going to fade off as you appear to be in the one room that doesn't have anything happening underneath it right now.
Oh, thank God.
She'll kind of cover her ears lightly.
Should have just gone for a bond. Really should have.
A bond would have been more drafty. It doesn't work well with
the barns tonight are all booked up. So I generally keep a few options open. But yeah, even the barns book up if you're not one of the first ones off the boat, unfortunately. I like to go down and see if I can find anyone who hasn't found anyone anywhere yet. Because I do know what it's like to have to sleep on the street.
Very kind of you.
I try.
And as you start to get settled in, we're going to transition down through the floorboards. It's getting kind of late at night, almost midnight. The storm has rolled in outside. Trixxi, you awaken with a start as the sudden roll, a thunderclap, tears through the sky, startling you. Can you make me a wisdom save to not have a breakdown?
I will try. That's going to be a 16.
A 16, you will find yourself shaking, but still in control of yourself. You, for a moment, can feel sensation in fingertips that no longer exist. Your mechanical arm flexing against the sinews and nerve patches that they're attached to. You remember the explosion, you remember the dark cape, and you remember those cold blue eyes above that metal, wrought mask. And then you feel warmth. A blanket wraps around your shoulders. Are you okay? You were having a nightmare.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it was a bit of a... It was a nightmare. No, I don't like thunder much.
Yeah, well, I mean, it gets pretty bad out there to the north. I've actually never seen thunder in the city. It don't smell quite right here.
It gets loud too, bouncing off all the buildings. It just amplifies it.
Thanks for letting me stay. You know, I didn't realize that today was arrival, or else I probably would have waited to bring in my or done it a little early. I'd be sleeping out in my cart with the sirens if it weren't for you letting me sleep here tonight. And
That's all right.
why I wouldn't be. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
It happens to the best of us on the best of days. Just need some more practice.
Well, let's worry about getting you warmed up first. Do you want you? My mom always said when I was young, I used to be afraid of thunder too, and she used to say that there's as long as you're indoors, there ain't nothing to be afraid of.
She has an image flash of her nightmare. Was it doors probably? She's like,
It was, yes.
you're right. Yes. Oh, your mama's, she's a wise woman. She is.
Listen to that. You can hear the street dogs going wild from it. They must be scared out of their wits.
Oh yes. They also don't like the thunder as well.
Robin, do you want to take?
Howling up a storm.
Well, I just wanted to say that when I'm able to make it here into town and spend some time with you, it's the nicest part of my month. And if you ever work courage check, that's a 6.
Oh.
If you ever wanted some food, can you what?
I was like, can I give him an advantage by just being there?
Sure. He got an 8.
Oh, that's fair.
God, that dog. He's being so cute. I was just saying that if my mom made food, do you eat food? I mean, I've seen you eat food before. If you ever wanted to go traveling, there's always a place in Burden that you could check in, I guess.
If I'm ever around Biden, of course. I would love to have food with your family. I love food. Listen, these proportions do not come from eating just salad all day. I eat a lot of meat. Wink.
zoom right over his head.
Fair.
And then you hear the sound of heavy footsteps in the hallway. And then your door shakes on its hinges as someone grabs the handle. Trixxi! A voice calls through the door that you will immediately recognize as another one of your clients.
Oh, Brodvik.
Brodvik Deads. There is the slur, the syrupy slur of whiskey in his mouth as he hammers the door. Trixxi! I know you're in there.
1 second, Brodvik. I'm just getting myself cleaned up for ya. And she's gonna be to Ardvik. There's a back door. I just gonna need you to.
Are you okay? Are you in any trouble? Do you need me to? I can.
I'm fine. It's very sweet, Ardvik, but he's a regular and he doesn't really have much of a schedule, and he's just a little drunk.
Bursts open as a boot impacts the lock. And can you describe him for me?
Yes. So, Brodvik is a male half-elf, 6 foot tall. He's quite handsome of a man. Kind of sandy brown hair.
Carrie Elway's looking?
Yeah, very much, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm picturing. He kicks open the door. He's got his shirt unbuttoned down to his waist. He reeks of alcohol and he's very disheveled. He looks around, makes eyes over at you, and you can see his brain processing. Akavir. Who the fuck are you?
This was my previous client.
You ain't got no other clients but me. None of them fucking matter.
You gonna tell that to Madam Stylist?
Madam Stylist. Fuck your madam. She couldn't run half this place
No,
if
you're
I
supposed
didn't.
to fuck me. You're gonna fuck me, but you won't if you're rude to me or to her.
Why don't you clean up this little shit's waste? Get yourself all ready. So I've had a shit night. I don't want to touch anything that he left behind. And at this point, all of you upstairs are going to be able to hear this through the floorboards. It sounds like a tense scene's happening directly underneath you. And as it does, this is the one moment where apparently courage with women isn't the thing that Akvir's very good at, but courage for a woman is something that he is good at. The tiefling boy, who is no more than a high school student, stands up and says, well, you can't talk to her like that. Miss Trixie's a lady. She ain't a lady, she's a whore. And Akvir's gonna take a punt. Akvir's gonna connect. Akvir's gonna connect. It is going to be a solid punch that is going to catch this man on the side of the jaw. Brodvik is going to spit a little bit of blood out, taking his 3 points of damage, and is going to look at the young man and say, huh. You and your magic. And before You and your magic. And before he says what body part is magic, there is a blistering sound of a gunshot as Akvir stumbles back, as Brodvik fires from the hip, catching him in the stomach. He stumbles backwards. Miss Trixxi? Falls over. What do you do, Trixxi?
Oh, she's panicking. I don't think she can do any healing, so she's gonna run and try and tackle she's
Brother?
gonna
All
reach for the she's gonna, I forgot she has a gun on her arm. She has a gun built in.
All right.
She's going to aim to shoot at Brodvik.
Okay, go ahead, make me an attack roll with advantage. He's drunk.
Well, that is gonna be a 16 to hit.
16 is more than enough. Your gun arm thunders to life, and he stumbles back. He falls. But he's taken a worse beating than this before, hasn't he? He stumbles through your curtain, slamming against the far wall. He looks down at the bullet hole you've placed in his shoulder, blood flowing over his fingers. What the fuck you doing? And he puts his hand down to stabilize himself. As the blood mingles at the tips of his fingers, he slaps them down on the chunk of ColdIron. And you watch as that oily, slick rock shivers and begins to flow like molten tar up his arm and into the wound. And you watch his skin shiver and change. And as we focus on Trixie's eye, the camera moves in, and we see the form of a handsome man in silhouette shift and part, like a man made out of bread dough being stretched into something wholly different. And we end on the sound of an inhuman scream. And that's where we're going to call game for the day.
Oh!
Damn.
Uh-oh.
All right. Hey, folks, we did it. Game one. I have a feeling you guys are going to get into combat real quick. I'm assuming that y'all probably were starting to head downstairs at the gunshot. So I'm going to assume you're outside of the room.
I think the gunshot, Belle would have turned to Zoe and be like, you want to heal them, don't you?
Someone needs help.
As soon as they started yelling and there was enough noise to disrupt Carrion's ability to sleep, she was out the door and getting ready to go and punch someone. So,
Perfect.
Well, actually, I feel like Belle would have a look. Do we have a window on this
Yes, you do.
little
You
attic
do.
room?
You do. Yeah, you could actually go out the window and through the window.
She's going to come in Trixie's window.
Okay. So we've got a lot to do next episode. Folks. And Tally?
Yeah,
Sure.
Taliina'a would be going down the hallway because despite the fact that this is not her place, she does care about people.
Good.
So she's going down to see what's happening there.
Well, welcome to episode 1 of ColdIron. I can't wait to keep going. Thanks. I did warn you this had some mature themes in it. I want a big thank you to everybody who enjoyed this episode. Please leave a like if you're watching this down on YouTube. And if you are in the giving mood, please consider Patreon, because Patreon keeps this stream alive. We couldn't do it without the likes of our divine producers, my mom, hi mom, and Shaikon de Vermilion, our demonic producer sorcerer Sanguine, our wizards of the Patreon, Tammy the Forever Cleric, the Ink Goblin, Karasha Urquhart, and Big Nut, our monster maker Soul Omen, who is designing some things for this campaign specifically for you guys to shoot, and our High Council, Taryn, Dustin, Amberthist, Raven with Baubles, Chef Eladeth, Larouk, Mike Baxter, Brian Kaler, Nerdy Metal Gent, Grumpy Owl, Cody, and David Annable. You guys are all amazing. We'll be back on tomorrow for Phandelver and Below the Shattered Obelisk. And with that, we'll see you next time, partners. Woo!